Hey there, pumpkin lovers! Listen, it's officially spooky season. That means pumpkin spice lattes, cozy sweaters, and of course, carving up some seriously impressive pumpkins. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time pumpkin Picasso, I'm here to share my top tips for picking and carving the perfect pumpkin. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this video. And as always, there will be links in the description down below if you would like some spooky pumpkin carving tools to make that perfect pumpkin. Let's get this party started. All right, so first things first, we gotta find ourselves a pumpkin, right? Think of it like choosing the perfect canvas for a masterpiece. You don't want one that's too small, or you'll be stuck with a face only a mother could love. But you don't want one so big you need a forklift to get it home either. Trust me on that one. A nice medium to large pumpkin is your best bet. It gives you plenty of room to work your magic. Now, when it comes to shape, you want something fairly symmetrical. A wonky pumpkin can be fun, but it might throw off your artistic vision, you know? And here's a little tip from yours truly. If you're planning on a seriously intricate design, maybe something that would make Michelangelo jealous, a smoother pumpkin is your friend. All those bumps and ridges on the knobbly ones can make things a bit tricky. Okay, so you've found a pumpkin that's the right size and shape. Now we gotta make sure it's in tip-top condition. Give it a good knock, like you're checking on a watermelon. You want it to sound nice and hollow, not dull and thuddy. And while you're at it, give it a good feel all over. You're looking for a pumpkin that feels firm, almost heavy for its size. That tells you it's nice and healthy, full of pumpkin-y goodness, and not about to turn into a pile of mush on your doorstep. Oh, and one last thing. Check the bottom. You don't want any soft spots or bruises down there. That's a sure sign that your pumpkin dreams are about to turn rotten. Now let's talk about the pumpkin's complexion, shall we? We're not looking for any beauty pageant winners here, but a smooth, unblemished pumpkin is going to be your best friend, especially if you're a carving connoisseur. See, those deep ridges, while they can add character, they can also make it a real pain to carve those intricate details. Think about it. Would you rather carve a face on a bowling ball or a basketball? Yeah, exactly. So if you're planning on going all out with your carving, opt for a pumpkin with smoother skin. Trust me, your carving hand will thank you later. Avoid no room for spoiled sports. Now listen closely because this is important. Nobody wants a rotten pumpkin on their hands, right? It's like finding out your favorite band is doing a reunion tour, but they've all lost their voices. Tragic. So before you commit to a pumpkin, give it a thorough inspection. We're talking full-on airport security pat-down here. Check for any soft spots, bruises, cuts, anything that looks a bit suspicious. Remember, a pumpkin is basically a houseplant, so you want to make sure you're not bringing home any unwanted guests like mold or insects. Keep it clean, people. Open from the bottom, a carving game changer. All right, let's talk carving technique. Now, I know what you're thinking. You cut the top off the pumpkin, right? Wrong. Well, not wrong, but hear me out. Opening your pumpkin from the bottom, my friends, is a game changer. First of all, it gives you a nice flat surface to set your pumpkin on. No more wobbly jack-o'-lanterns rolling off the porch. Safety first, people. Second, it makes scooping out the guts so much easier. You can just scoop everything out in one fell swoop. No need for any fancy pumpkin carving tools. And finally, and this is the real kicker, it helps your pumpkin last longer. See, when you cut from the top, you're essentially cutting off the pumpkin's lifeline, preventing moisture from traveling up to the top. But when you cut from the bottom, you're keeping that pathway open, meaning your pumpkin will stay fresh and fabulous for longer. Scooping the inside guts and glory. Now for everyone's favorite part, scooping out the pumpkin guts. Get yourself some gloves and a big spoon because things are about to get messy. And trust me, you don't want to be scraping pumpkin gunk off your hands for the next week. When you're scooping, try to get those inside walls nice and thin. About an inch thick is ideal. This will make carving so much easier, and it'll also allow more light to shine through, giving your jack-o'-lantern that spooky glow. And while you're at it, don't throw away those pumpkin seeds. Roasted pumpkin seeds are a delicious fall treat, and they're packed with nutrients. So save those seeds, toss them with some olive oil and salt, and pop them in the oven for a healthy and delicious snack. All right, now for the fun part. designing your masterpiece. Now, you can go freehand if you're feeling confident, but if you're like me and you need a little help in the art department, a stencil is your best friend. You can find stencils online, in craft stores, or even just draw your own. Once you've got your stencil, simply tape it to your pumpkin and use a pen or a pencil to trace the design onto the pumpkin skin. This will give you a nice, clear outline to follow when you start carving, and it'll help you avoid any costly mistakes. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to start over after they've already put in all that hard work. Okay, we're in the home stretch now. Time to bring your design to life. Now, when it comes to carving, patience is key. You're not performing open heart surgery here, so take your time. Enjoy the process. Use a sharp serrated knife for the big cuts and a smaller, more precise knife for the details. And remember, it's always better to err on the side of caution. You can always take more away, but you can't put it back once it's gone. And here's a little pro tip. If you're carving a particularly intricate design, try carving from the inside out. This will help prevent the pumpkin from cracking and breaking, and it'll give you a cleaner, more professional-looking result. You've done it! You've carved the perfect pumpkin. Now let's make sure it stays that way for as long as possible. The enemy here is dehydration, my friends. Just like us, pumpkins need moisture to thrive. So, once you've finished carving, give your jack-o'-lantern a good spray with some water, and then gently pat it dry. Then apply a thin layer of petroleum jelly to all the cut edges. This will help seal in the moisture and prevent the pumpkin from drying out and shriveling up. And lastly, keep your pumpkin in a cool, dry place, out of direct sunlight. Avoid putting it on top of anything that generates heat, like a television or a radiator. And if you live in a particularly warm climate, you might even want to consider storing your pumpkin in the fridge overnight. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to talk about tools. You don't need a whole arsenal of fancy equipment to carve a great pumpkin, but having the right tools can make the job a whole lot easier. First and foremost, you need a good, sharp knife. And I'm not talking about that butter knife you've had since college. Invest in a proper carving knife with a serrated blade. You'll thank me later. Next up, a pumpkin saw. These are great for making those big initial cuts, and they're also surprisingly helpful for carving out intricate details. And finally, no pumpkin carving kit is complete without a good set of scoops. You need something sturdy enough to tackle those pumpkin guts, but also something with a bit of finesse for scraping those inside walls nice and thin. And there you have it, folks. My top tips for picking and carving the perfect pumpkin. Follow these tips and you'll be the envy of all your neighbors. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about having fun and getting into the Halloween spirit. So gather your friends, grab some pumpkins, and let your creativity run wild. And hey, if you create a masterpiece, be sure to tag me on social media. I'd love to see your creations. Also hit that like button and subscribe if you like the video. It helps out a lot, and thank you for watching. Happy Halloween, everyone, and happy carving.